Greenwich Hospital was a permanent home for retired sailors of the Royal Navy, which operated from 1692 to 1869. Its buildings were later used by the Royal Naval College, Greenwich, and are now known as the Old Royal Naval College. The word hospital was used in its original sense of a place providing hospitality for those in need of it, and did not refer to medical care, although the buildings included an infirmary which, after Greenwich Hospital closed, operated as Dreadnought Seaman's Hospital until 1986. The foundation which operated the hospital still exists, for the benefit of former Royal Navy personnel and their dependents. It now provides sheltered housing on other sites. History. The hospital was created as the Royal Hospital for Seamen at Greenwich on the instructions of Queen Mary II, who had been inspired by the sight of wounded sailors returning from the Battle of La Hogue in 1692. She ordered the King Charles wing of the palace, originally designed by architect John Webb for King Charles II in 1664, to be remodeled as a naval hospital to provide a counterpart for the Chelsea Hospital for Soldiers. Sir Christopher Wren and his assistant Nicholas Hawksmoor gave the services free of charge as architects of the new Royal Hospital. Sir John Vanbrugh succeeded Wren as architect, completing the complex to Wren's original plans. An early controversy arose when it emerged that the original plans for the hospital would have blocked the riverside view from the Queen's house. Queen Mary II therefore ordered that the buildings be split, providing an avenue leading from the river through the hospital grounds up to the Queen's house and Greenwich Hill beyond. This gave the hospital its distinctive look, with its buildings arranged in a number of quadrants. Its four main buildings are bisected north-south by a grand square and processional route, and east-west by an internal road from the East Gate to the West Gate by Greenwich Market in Greenwich Town Centre. The grand square and processional route running north-south maintained access to and a river view from the Queen's House and Greenwich Park beyond. Construction was financed through an endowment, financed through the transfer of 19,500 liras in fines paid by merchants convicted of smuggling in 1695, a public fundraising appeal which brought in 9,000 liras, and a 2,000 liras annual contribution from Treasury. In 1705 an additional 6,472 liras was paid into the fund, comprising the liquidated value of estates belonging to recently hanged pirate Captain Kidd. The first of the principal buildings constructed was the King Charles Court, completed in 1705. The first governor, Sir William Gifford, took up office in 1708. The other principal buildings constructed included Queen Mary Court, completed in 1742, Queen Anne Court, and King William Court. Queen Mary Court houses the hospital's chapel. Its present appearance dates from 1779 to 89, when it was rebuilt to a design by James Athenian Stewart after a devastating fire. King William Court is famous for its Baroque painted hall, which was painted by Sir James Thornhill in honor of King William III and Queen Mary II, of Queen Anne and her husband Prince George of Denmark and George I. The painted hall was deemed too magnificent for the pensioned seamen's refectory and was never regularly used as such. It became a tourist destination, opened for viewing. On the 5th of January 1806, Lord Nelson's body lay in state in the painted hall of the Greenwich Hospital before being taken up the River Thames to St Paul's Cathedral for a state funeral. In 1824 a National Gallery of Naval Art was created in the painted hall, where it remained until 1936, when the collection was transferred to the National Maritime Museum, newly established in the Queen's House in adjacent buildings. On the riverside front of the northeast corner of King Charles Court is an obelisk, designed by Philip Hardwicke and unveiled in 1855, erected in memory of the Arctic explorer Joseph René Bellot, who died in an unsuccessful attempt to rescue the members of John Franklin's ill-fated expedition to open a northwest passage in northern Canada. The Greenwich Hospital buildings included an infirmary, constructed in the 1760s to a design also by James Stewart, where pensioners were attended by trained medical staff. After some adaptation and rebuilding, this became the Dreadnought Seaman's Hospital in 1870. The treatment for tropical diseases moved in 1919 to the Seaman's Hospital Society Hospital near Euston Square in central London, to form the Hospital for Tropical Diseases. The Dreadnought Seaman's Hospital closed in 1986, with special services for seamen and the families then provided by the Dreadnought unit at St Thomas's Hospital in Lambeth. Greenwich Hospital closed in 1869. The remains of thousands of sailors and officers, including many of those who had fought in the Battle of Trafalgar, were removed from the hospital site in 1875 and reinterred in East Greenwich Pleasance, also called Pleasance Park. Governors included Captain Sir William Gifford, Vice Admiral Lord Aylmer, Admiral Sir John Jennings, Admiral Sir John Balcon, Captain Lord Archibald Hamilton, Admiral Isaac Townsend, Admiral Sir George Rodney, Admiral Sir Francis Holborn, Admiral Sir Charles Hardy, Admiral Sir Hugh Palliser, Admiral Viscount Hood, Admiral Sir John Colpoys, Admiral Sir Richard Keats, Vice Admiral Sir Thomas Hardy, Admiral Sir Robert Stopford, Admiral Sir Charles Adam, Admiral Sir James Gordon, Admiral Sir Houston Stewart, Admiral Sir Sidney Dagers, Admiral Sir Lewis Jones. Greenwich Hospital, the charity. The charitable foundation of Greenwich Hospital still exists, although it is no longer based at the original site. It is now a royal charity for the benefit of seafarers and their dependants, with the Secretary of State for Defense acting as the Crown's sole trustee. The charity now funds sheltered housing for former Royal Navy personnel and the school it spawned, the Royal Hospital School, now at Holbrook in Suffolk. The charity's head office is located in the City of London.